Well, okay, here we're back with Connie Breeze, okay? And she's a very interesting, very lovely, very entertaining person, okay? And I just want to say, Connie, what, with you doing all this music 24 hours a day for a radio station, 105.7, okay? And doing that, so I can hear you. I can turn on 105.7. I can hear you 6 days a week, right?
Yes, or you can stream it.
From what hours? 2 to what?
7.
2 to 7 every day. Amazing. Wow, when you go to bed at night, you know you got to wake up the next day and have 24 hours of music?
Yeah.
So do you work 2 or 3 days ahead of time to try to get it all going?
I usually try to work 24 hours ahead of time.
Are you allowed to get sick? No.
No.
You're not allowed
None
to?
of that. There'll be none of that.
Yeah, none of that. Okay. And but what are some of your favorite songs then? If you love this music and you play it all the time, what does Connie Breeze like?
I love, like, when I hear the OJs, she used to be my girl, and I can hear the first 2 or 3 notes of a song, and I can tell you what it is. You know, I love Bloodstone, Natural High. I love Santana and all of his singles, you know. I mean, I'll be on the radio, and I think that's what connects me, is that I'm a fan. And I'm not embarrassed to say I'm a fan. Like, I still get like I'm in 12th grade. I told Jeffrey Osborne when I interviewed him, because we did it over the radio, I said, I'm going to be meeting you, and I am going to be in 12th grade. So you might want to file the restraining order now. You know, Jeffrey Osborne, don't you get so mad about it? I mean, Luther Vandross, I just, you know, I thank God every day that I got to do what I love and be with the artists that I love. And I came out this way. There's nobody else in my family doing this. My sister's an accountant.
Who else is doing this at all? Who else is doing this? I don't know anybody doing 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, programming music for 24 hours a day, and has been raised in the music business, rubbing shoulders with all these people and help them to sell their albums, and yet you don't sing or play an instrument?
Yeah, I it's been a long journey. It's been a lot of experiences, and
You've had a different way of living in the celebrity world, haven't you?
Yes, I've been very determined, and also, you know, we have a mutual love, and I think it's when an artist knows that you respect them. And a lot of the old school artists, you know, they feel kind of pushed aside because of technology and a lack of appreciation of real music on a particular level. When they see that, I always say, what can I give? Not what can I get?
Right.
What can I give? And I think that always has held me in good stead, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't abusing them or using them. Instead, you were actually loving and promoting them.
Yeah, wanting
right?
to help in any way that I can, you know. And not that they needed me, but I just thank God I was standing there when something happened so I could be a part of it.
Well, of all these things that you've done already, Connie, what does Connie want? What does Connie want out of all this? What's your ultimate goal? What would you like to be doing more of that you're not doing today?
There's some things that I want to do more of. I love hosting cruises with artists on them. I would like to do more of that. I love hosting concerts, and Confunctional will call me, like when they're going up and down the West Coast, and I'll go out with them for those dates. I love being on the road. I'd like to host more corporate events, and, you know, for like Microsoft.
But you kind of like red carpets too, don't you?
Love the red carpet.
Right. Yeah, you look like you would.
I love it. I'd love to have a show like yours where these amazing artists who come through town who can't get their new record played could get it played with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? OJ's have a new record, can't play it, but you could play it here. Zapp has a new record, can't play it, but you could play it here. I mean, I have a list of artists this long that have new records out that are frustrated because they're old school, and the old school stations don't play new music.
Okay, tell our audience what old school means. I think a lot of them might not know exactly what that means.
It's a genre. It's like, let's say and it shifted. It used to be like 60s, 70s, 80s. Now it's 70s, 80s, 90s. So it's that genre of music. It's R&B, you know, so it's Motown, it's Smokey Robinson, it's Stevie Wonder. It's that genre. But the funny thing is that now Boyz II Men are old school artists.
They weren't before, but now they are.
No, and they get mad at me every time I say it.
Are Beatles old school artists?
No, they're old school is more of an R&B term.
Okay, more of a okay.
You know?
And is
more-
Elvis isn't old school then either, is he?
No, they're more classic.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? Classic
So
rock.
there's different terminology for this kind of stuff.
And the terminology has shifted over the years too.
Okay. Well, based upon that, and when artists come here to Las Vegas, there's a term that you talked about a little bit earlier called the residency.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you clarify and how do you explain residency to an artist in Las Vegas?
Well, I love this because, and I think Boyz II Men really helped to redefine this, because residency used to be, you came for a few years, right? I mean, you know, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Liza Minnelli. Now you can come for a few weeks, like 11 weeks, and then go do a tour and then come back. And
That's kind of what they do here at the Caesars, isn't it? You know, Celine Dion
Yeah, with-
and all
with
these
Celine
people.
and with Elton John.
Rod Stewart and all these people, Elton John, like you said. So they come here, but they're only here for a period of time,
Right.
5 or 6 weeks, and
Right.
then they go out, and then they might come back 2 or 3 times a year.
I think it's great because I think it's freeing for the artists. They don't have to, you know, stop their tour and stop other people around the country or in other countries from being able to see them live. Although their fan clubs come to Vegas anyway. But, you know, it's like Donnie and Marie. They came here for 6 weeks 11 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, I have Legends in Concert. That's a show I created here.
Right.
And it's now the longest running show here in Las Vegas that I created. And I'm going to tell you an interesting story because we happen to bring up the Caesars and Rod Stewart. So I got a call from one of the managers over at Caesars, and he said, there's a guy over here that says he does Rod Stewart, and he would like to meet you. And he would like to perhaps be on your show. And I said, well, just give him my number and we'll set up an audition. He can come over and audition. He said, no, he wants to see if you could possibly come over now. And John, I know it's an inconvenience, but if you could come over and meet him, he's out by the pool in a cabana out there, and it would be real nice if you would do that for me as a favor. I said, well, is he a personal friend? I mean, I would really like to see this guy get on your show. Is there any time he's going to be here for at least 3 days? Can you come over? I said, listen, I'll come over. And so I actually was there within an hour because I knew this guy and I wanted to be friendly and do what I said. So this is old school, right?
Right.
So anyway, so I go over there and here's this guy sitting in the cabana with a bunch of girls around him and everything. And he said, oh, you're Jon Stewart. Oh, man, I've heard about you a lot, you know, and your show and everybody, and you do tributes to major artists and stuff like that. Do you think I could do Rod Stewart? And I says, well, you sort of look like him. You do. You sort of look like him. Because keep in mind, this is out by the pool.
Right,
and
right,
everybody's
right.
been in the pool and
In the
everything.
light of day.
So, yeah. So I said, you look like him, and everything's good. And everybody starts laughing and cracking up and so forth. And I said, are you Rod Stewart? he was Rod Stewart.
What did you do? What did you?
Well, other than wetting my pants.
Right.
I stood there, and he was Rod Stewart, and I thought it was very kind and very nice of him. He was very nice. It was a pleasure of mine.
Right.
It was an honor for me
Right.
to go meet Rod Stewart when I'm doing mainly impersonators. So it was quite a deal. So I'm sure, have you had some experiences like that with different artists and so forth because of what you did with the R&B and everything? I bet you've had some personal, unique experiences.
Well, I'm dying to know, did you hire him?
No,
Oh.
he wasn't quite good enough, but I was thinking of it. He was the real guy, okay? And you know, my brother Rod, he sang with the Beach Boys too. All of us in the previous years before he sang with them first. Then he went to Brigham Young University, and then I sang with them and everything. But it's amazing how all these, they're either brothers or they're friends or they went to high school and they
Yeah.
form all these groups, and you just don't know how they all come about. It's really interesting, you know, how that happens and people do that. Right now, I'm singing with the Four Preps. You know, the
Four
guys used to be the Diamonds and this and that. So we go out on the road, and I'm singing now with the Four Preps.
I love that.
And I have an understudy for me because a lot of times I just can't go.
Right,
I'm busy.
right.
You know. But anyway, we're doing. Listen, we have had Connie Breeze.
So
you
much
are on
fun.
us, and we love you. And she's the celebrity host. Great. Don't forget ConnieBreeze.com.
Yes.
Right? And she's a celebrity host, and you're going to see a lot more of her. And listen to her every day, 5 hours a day, 6 days a week at 105.7.
Very good. Well
okay. See you later. Bye-bye.
done. Good.